Hey there! In this video we will manage our role-based security on particular fields when we try to edit room information. Let's go. So first of all, how we are going to define our roles. If we open our structure, inside rooms we can see we have created ad, description, last message and name. So here we will also add another property which is going to be admins. And with real-time database we can put arrays, or we can, but they are really poorly managed because of its poor query builder system, because of its poor queries on real-time database. We're gonna put our admins as an array of user IDs. So if user belongs to this array, it means that user is an admin. And we will not put it as an array. We are going to create an object inside our database, and every key is going to be user ID. And if this user is an admin, then it will be set to true. Otherwise, this user will not be inside the database. Alright, so first of all, what do we need to do? We need to add a user to our data. Let's go to, let's say, new room name, or maybe let's rename it to something more specific. Let's say cool. Let's save it. And now let's navigate to this database. Here we're going to add new field. We're going to create admins. Then we're going to click on plus sign over here. Then we need to put our user ID. What we can do, we can go to profile context. And then when we get auth object, let's console log user ID to get our user ID. So now I can copy my user ID and put it inside database and then set value to true and then add it to room data. So it looks like this. Now, in order to restrict access, we need to define security rules. So let's navigate to rules, and here we will do the next thing. For our rooms path, we're gonna remove write property, so it will be picked up from here, so no one can actually write to rooms path, but they are able to read rooms. Then for room ID, instead of write it like this, we're gonna recreate the rule. But also for last message property, which is like this, we're gonna specify write rule set to auth not equals null. Let me format it like this. This is due to, if you remember, when we update data in multiple places, we also update last message inside our room. So basically everyone who writes to chat can update last message inside the room, but not other fields like room name and description. Here we will define rules for exactly those fields. So for room ID, we are able to write data first when the data does not exist. When we try to create a new room, we're gonna specify if data. So this data is again a global object inside security rules, and it represents the current data that we are trying to access. So if data exists, so it is a boolean, we're able to write to this path when data does not exist. All right, so when we are trying to create a new room with a specific room ID, or if we are an admin, only then we will be able to write and edit this information. So how can we do that? So we know that we store it under admins, then we have user ID and true. So with database, with security rules, it works like that. I opened documentation for real-time database security rules, and here I can find this information. If I scroll down a little bit, I can find this information that I can access some fields by using this approach. So I'm gonna just use exactly the same pattern, and what I will do, I'm gonna ask if data that we are currently trying to access has child admins, then inside this admin's child we have another child which is going to be our user ID, and we can get it from auth object. So we're gonna ask if child auth dot uid dot value equals to true. So if we have a record for our user inside admins field, then we will be able to write to that path. Now let's save it and let's take a look. Now if I am an admin of this cool group, I'm gonna click on that. I will be able to edit it because we added our user ID to the database. Let's say something random. Now successfully updated. Okay, now let's navigate to other room when we are not an admin. Let me try and edit it. Hello world. Now if I will try and save it, I will get permission denied. So our security rules work, and that's pretty cool. And because of that, now we restricted access to our database. But also we need to manage it programmatically, we need to add admins, etc. So let's also do that. So let's navigate to create room BTN model, and here what we will do, when we will create a new room, we will add ourselves to admins. So here when we define new room data, we will also add a new object admins, and we're gonna specify auth. Let's import auth in the first place. Yeah, it has been imported. Auth current user UID is set to true. Now whenever we add a new room, we set ourselves as admin. Next, when we read room data, we need to know who exactly are admins. So let's navigate to chat.js, and here for current room, we're gonna do the next thing. Because it is an object and we need to work with arrays, ideally when we work inside our code, we need to transform this object to an array. So let's create here new variable admins, and inside helpers, we will define a new function that will transform our object to just an array. So we will name it in exactly the same way as we did with this function, but we're gonna say just transform to array. Here we are going to receive snapshot value again, and let me define function keyword, and this function will be pretty simple. So if snapshot value exists, then we're gonna return object keys of this snapshot value. So we will get an array of user IDs. Otherwise, we're gonna return an empty array. Now let's save this helpers and let's use it inside chat.js. Here we're gonna transform to array, let's say current room.admins. And now we have the admins array, but also we want to know if our currently signed in user is an admin. So what we can do, we can create a new variable is admin, and we're gonna just simply ask if admins includes auth.currentUser.uid. And now we can pass this data along with the context. So let's pass admins and is admin. From now on, we will be able to display this drawer only when we are admins. So now let's navigate to our top part. Let's navigate to index.js inside top folder. And here from context, we are going to grab is admin, use current room value is admin, like that. And now we're gonna ask if we are an admin, only then we will display edit room btn drawer. Now let's take a look inside this first room where we are the admin. We can see this drawer and we are able to edit room information. Successfully updated. But in the room where we are not admins, we will not be able to see this drawer, and also we will not be able to update it because we set security rules. Let's actually copy these security rules and let's synchronize them with our local rules. Let's open database rules and paste them here. Alright, it seems good. However, there is one more thing to our security rules. If we inspect our console, we can see that we have this Firebase warning. Your data will be downloaded, filtered on decline. Consider adding index on room ID at messages. So let's do that. That's to make our queries even more performant. So let's navigate to rules and let's see, consider adding index on room ID at messages. Let's copy this and at messages, let's add it over here like this. Now let's save it and let's take a look if we can still have this warning. Okay, right now our console is clear. I don't see any warning. Let's again copy our rules and let's paste them to our database rules JSON like that. Okay, so this is it for this video. This is how we will manage our security. Now let's commit our changes. Let's add everything to the state and then let's commit changes with the update security rules for role-based permission, and that's all. Alright, see you in the next one.